Hi Leo, welcome to your love reading for December 2019. You did have one jumping card when I was properly shuffling. I was also kind of getting a feeling that for the sign of Leo, there is a lot of sadness around you. I was getting the message that somebody is kind of like keeping track of time. So maybe, you're keeping track of how long it's been since you've seen someone, how long it's been since you've talked to someone. I feel like somebody is keeping track of time for some bizarre reason. Now, the card that jumped for the sign of Leo when I was shuffling is the Five of Coins. So the Five of Coins, to me, this card does represent feeling abandoned. We see kind of an old, lonely old lady here who's kind of holding up her cup, kind of saying like, please give me something. It does represent loneliness and kind of feeling isolated. So let's go ahead and put this back in the deck and we'll see what comes up for the sign of Leo. This is the love reading for the sign of Leo for December 2019. The first card you have, Leo, is the Fool. Love reading for the sign of Leo for December. 10 of Coins. Love reading for the sign of Leo for December. King of Swords. Love reading for the sign of Leo for December. 6 of Swords. Love reading for the sign of Leo for December. 4 of Wands. Love reading for the sign of Leo for December. Ace of Wands. Love reading for the sign of Leo for December. 10 of Cups. Love reading for the sign of Leo for December. 10 of Wands. Love reading for the sign of Leo for December. And the 8 of Cups. Okay, what's the most important thing that Leo needs to hear about their love life for December 2019? The message that you have, Leo, is the Two of Swords. The Two of Swords, to me, this represents being stuck. Mentally, you're stuck. This does represent that maybe there's something you don't want to see. There is some decision you don't want to make. There is some action that you don't want to take. And because of that, things are not moving forward. So we'll come back to this card in a minute and see how it ties in with the rest of the reading. Let's go ahead and start at the top. If you would like a private reading with me, just scroll down and you'll see a link to my website, channeledguidance.com. Okay, so let's see what you have in the first row. You have the Fool, the 10 of Coins, and the King of Swords. So some of you are connecting with an air sign. This would be Gemini, Libra, or Aquarius, male or female, sun, moon, or rising. If you're single, I feel like there's definitely an air sign around you. You have the 10 of Coins, which does represent stability, commitment. This can be a card of marriage. And again, for those who are single, you could be connecting with this air sign. You have the Fool. So the Fool does represent a major arcana, a significant new beginning for the sign of Leo. To me, the Fool is actually all about trusting. This is, it is about new beginnings, but this is about trusting your own feelings and your own intuition. For some of you, yes, it can be somebody new that you're meeting in the month of December. But it can also be someone that you're reconnecting with, perhaps an ex who is an air sign, where there's an opportunity for a relationship, for commitment and stability. But you do have to trust your own heart and your own intuition. Now, in the next row here, you've got the 6 of Swords, the 4 of Wands, and the Ace of Wands. So again, you have new beginnings around you. You have the Ace of Wands. For the sign of Leo, there is a clean slate here for you. Remember, you did have that 5 of Coins, so at the beginning of the reading. So if there is some type of sadness around you, which I did pick up on that before I started the reading, you're being told that you actually have new opportunities around you. So definitely don't keep dwelling on things that are no longer there. You don't want to do this. This was your main energy. This is being stuck because there are things that you don't want to admit. There are things you don't want to look at. Maybe there's decisions you don't want to make. You have new beginnings here. You also have the 6 of Swords. This is actually a chance for the sign of Leo to get away from a really difficult situation, from a really difficult time, a turbulent time in your life. And this is connected with some type of new beginning, perhaps a new person or a new beginning in a relationship. You have the 4 of Wands, a card of stability, a happy home, marriage. Some of you, because you do have marriage here and marriage here, some of you maybe are meeting somebody significant where this could be the person you're going to spend the rest of your life with. For others, there is perhaps an opportunity to repair a relationship with the Ace of Wands and the Fool, but I do feel like there's something that has to be faced here with the Two of Swords. Now at the bottom you have the Ten of Cups. So Ten of Cups, this is what everybody wants. This is a very happy and fulfilling relationship, a happily ever after. But I do feel, you've got the Ten of Wands right next to it. So I do feel like for the sign of Leo, there is a relationship perhaps that you're in where you are exhausted, you're tired maybe of something that is happening in that relationship. With the Ten of Wands, there really is no way to try to make this into a positive card. There really is no way. The Ten of Wands represents feeling exhausted, tired, drained, feeling like giving up. And this is right next to the Eight of Cups. The Eight of Cups is, to me, this is a card of moving on, saying goodbye, choosing to walk away from someone so that you can be happy. And for some of you, maybe that is what we are seeing in this reading. You do have a lot of positive energy. You have, I see a very strong relationship here, commitment. You have new beginnings here. But maybe it's time to kind of say goodbye to a situation, to move on from a situation where you have done all that you can and something that is just kind of burning you out. Again, this could be something that maybe the sign of Leo does not want to look at, something that is keeping you stuck. Okay, let's go ahead and get a few more cards. Let's see what else comes up for you. What other messages are there for the sign of Leo for December? The Star. Love reading for the sign of Leo. The Four of Coins. And the Queen of Wands. So of course you would be the Queen of Wands because you're a fire sign. If you're coupled with another fire sign, then this could represent them, another Leo, an Aries, or Sagittarius. What I see here, when you've got the Star can represent inner guidance, trusting your inner guidance. We see that with the Fool. I feel like the sign of Leo, like you really have to trust your intuition when it comes to new beginnings in the month of December. But the Star also represents your hopes and wishes being granted. I feel like the sign of Leo is holding on to something here. We've got the Four of Coins right next to your energy. And the Four of Coins, this is holding on to something really tight and refusing to give up. And I definitely feel like that is connected to your main energy. There is something you don't want to do. Maybe there is a relationship maybe that you don't want to walk away from. Even though there is a lot of tired energy here. You're tired of trying. But with the Four of Coins, you just, no matter how hard you try, you hold on really tight. You don't want to let go, but it's usually out of fear. Again, you don't want to stay stuck in this energy here. You do have a lot of new beginnings. With the Ace of Wands, the Fool, there is commitment and stability here. But there's a need to move on to something healthier with the Six of Swords. Okay, let's get a few cards for you from the confirmation deck. What other messages are there for the sign of Leo, December? Got the Four of Wands. This is a repeat card. There's one right there. The Moon. And the Eight of Swords. What's the most important thing that Leo needs to hear about their love life for December? The Magician. So the Magician is about manifestation. This is telling you that you can create any kind of reality that you want. This is telling you to stay empowered. I feel like maybe the sign of Leo has given someone too much power, or you've given fear too much power. This is saying stay in control. So let's take a look at the last three cards that I pulled for you. You have the Four of Wands as a repeat card. Again, there's one here and one here. Some of you, this could be a marriage because the Four of Wands is a marriage card. But it could also be a relationship where you want this to be something long-term. You want there to be a sense of stability in this relationship. But I really don't see that right here. The Moon does represent the sign of Pisces. But the Moon also represents a lot of emotion. This represents a lot of fear, a lot of confusion. To me, when I see the Moon, it always represents something that is hidden from you. You don't know all the facts. You don't really know what's going on, maybe with the person that you love. Also, you have the Eight of Swords. The Eight of Swords is feeling like your hands are tied behind your back. So some of you, you could be maybe holding on really tight to a relationship or a marriage. Maybe some of you are faced with a decision maybe of moving on. But again, with the Eight of Swords here, I feel like the sign of Leo, you're feeling like you really don't know what to do. You're feeling kind of trapped in a situation. Some of you could even be trapped in a marriage where you really don't want to be there anymore. If that is the case, remember the main energy from the second deck was the Magician. I mean, you need to take your power back. You need to start creating your own reality. But the main energy from the other deck is telling me that the sign of Leo doesn't want to do that. You're stuck. There's something you don't want to see. Okay, let's go ahead and move on to the X spread. Okay, Leo, let's go ahead and see what is going on between you and your ex in the month of December. Leo and their ex for December 2019. Interesting. The Five of Pentacles, which actually was the jumping card for the first spread that I did for you. Leo and their ex for December. The Queen of Wands, which is your energy. Leo and their ex for December. Page of Wands. Leo and their ex for December. Two of Cups. Leo and their ex for December. Eight of Wands. Leo and their ex for December. Six of Pentacles. Leo and their ex for December. Ace of Swords. Leo and their ex for December. The Hierophant. Leo and their ex for December. And the King of Swords, which is interesting because you also had, I think it was the Queen of Swords in the first spread. So if your ex is an air sign, Gemini, Libra, or Aquarius, and this is definitely speaking to you. Okay, let's go ahead and start at the top and see what your message is. You have the Five of Pentacles, the Queen of Wands, and the Page of Wands. So again, I mean, you're starting with this energy of the Five of Pentacles, which was the jumping card from the first spread. This is feeling abandoned. I mean, so some of you might be feeling, perhaps, maybe, this is someone who is your ex who's no longer in your life. But that feeling of, this person just kicked me out of their life, feeling abandoned is front and center. You're still feeling deeply hurt over somebody walking away from you. I do see possible communication here because you've got the Page of Wands. The pages always represent communication, but this also represents adventure, excitement, change. So something could change between you and your ex. Now take a look at the second row here. You've got the Two of Cups, the Eight of Wands, and the Six of Pentacles. So to me, the Eight of Wands, this represents waiting and then something finally developing. The Eight of Wands usually means you've been waiting for a really long time for something, anything to happen, anything to change. And this does represent excitement, fireworks. You've got the soulmate card on one side of that, the Two of Cups. That emotional bond between you and your ex is still there. And you also have the Six of Pentacles, which is you getting what you deserve. You receiving the love, the relationship that you deserve from this person. So for some of you, there is a chance here to reconnect with an ex. You've also got the Ace of Swords here. So the Ace of Swords does represent clarity, truth, somebody having a clear head, finally knowing what they want, somebody finally knowing how they feel about you. Some of you that sense of clarity could appear in the month of December. You actually have the Hierophant right next to it. So the Hierophant can represent the sign of Taurus, but the Hierophant is also very spiritual energy, just like the High Priestess and the Hermit. The Hierophant represents finding who you belong with, finding where you belong. And this actually is right next to the King of Swords. And again, this is very interesting because this card came up in the first spread. So again, if your ex is an air sign, Gemini, Libra, or Aquarius, I am definitely speaking to you. This King of Swords, this air sign, is right next to the Hierophant. So if your ex is this air sign, this is who you belong with. You still have that soulmate connection. There could be a change of mind. Maybe this person, again, abandoned you, but I do see a change of mind here with the Ace of Swords. Okay, let's get a few more cards and see what else comes up. What other messages are there for the sign of Leo as far as their ex for December 2019? Nine of Cups, Aries, sorry, not, I don't know why I said Aries, Leo and their ex for December. Knight of Wands, Three of Cups. So you do have a lot of happiness here. I mean, you've got the Nine of Cups and the Three of Cups, which this is you being extremely happy maybe because there's been some type of change around a situation with an ex. The Nine of Cups is being extremely happy, but it's also having a wish fulfilled. And the Three of Cups, I mean, this is a celebration. This is you feeling on top of the world. You've got the Knight of Wands here. Because I kind of just blurted out Aries, some of you, maybe your ex is an Aries, which could be why the Queen of Wands is there. It could also be the King of Swords, which also came up in the first spread. Gemini, Libra, or Aquarius. But I do see, a lot of action here with the Knight of Wands. The Knight of Wands is someone who refuses to give up, refuses to back down. There is a lot of happiness around this. For some of you, it could be that you're hearing from your ex in the month of December, since you have the Page of Wands right here next to your energy. Okay, let's get a few more cards from the confirmation deck, and let's see what else comes up for you. What other messages are there for the sign of Leo about their ex for December? 10 of Cups, Leo and their ex, December. 4 of Coins, 7 of Swords. So kind of a trickier message compared to everything else that we see in the spread. Usually when I see things like this, because you just had, let me just kind of hold it up for you. You've got the 9 of Cups and the 3 of Cups, which that is a whole lot of happiness. Some of you, you're getting that wish fulfilled to reunite with your ex. But then we end up with something like this over here. When that happens, I usually kind of see that one part of the reading will apply to somebody. Remember, this is a general reading. One part of the reading is going to apply to some people and the other part won't. So this is kind of like a separate message here because of the cards that have come up with it. There is a relationship here. You've got the 10 of Cups, which is perhaps a marriage, maybe something you want it to be a marriage. The 10 of Cups is a very happy and fulfilling relationship. And you have the 4 of Pentacles here. This is holding on really tight to this, to this relationship, this connection with your ex, or maybe you were hoping this was going to be your happily ever after. But we've got the 7 of Swords right next to it. I just told the last sign that I uploaded for, which I forgot what sign it was, but they also had the same message. With the 7 of Swords, you got to be careful because this is sometimes self-deceit. This could be maybe that you're kind of in denial. You're convincing yourself of something that is not true. Again, I feel like part of the reading is very positive, letting you know that there could be, communication with your ex, something you've been waiting for a really long time, especially for those of you where your ex is another fire sign, because I was getting Aries, and then you had the King of Swords, Gemini, Libra, or Aquarius in the first spread. So if your ex is a fire sign or an air sign, then I feel like there is a whole lot of happiness waiting for you in the month of December. 9 of Cups and 3 of Cups. But for those of you where maybe, that's not the case, there is something here where, you're holding on really tight to a connection with an ex. And the 7 of Swords is saying, don't do that. The 7 of Swords is kind of being in denial. Perhaps there was deceit with this person. To me, the 7 of Swords is just, this is not a pretty energy. This is someone who is in denial, or there was deceit involved in a relationship. And yet, someone is holding on really tight here with the 4 of Pentacles. Let me get a few more cards because I feel like part of the reading is really positive and letting you know that there can be a reunion. And then the other side of the spread is kind of saying be careful. Don't kind of see something that is not there. So let me look into these 2 cards. What other messages are there for the sign of Leo about their ex? You've got the Hierophant, which actually is down here as well. So that is a repeat card. And again, the Hierophant is a really kind of spiritual connection of feeling like this is where I belong. This is who I belong with. And because I'm asking for confirmation on these 2 cards, I hate to say this in a reading because people don't like this. Some of you might be feeling like, no, this is who I belong with. When these cards are saying no. No, there's actually maybe someone else out there who's better for you. Again, the Hierophant is that spiritual connection, just like the High Priestess, just like the Hermit, except this is finding exactly who you belong with, where you belong. And this is a confirmation that has come up for the 4 of Pentacles and the 7 of Swords. So some of you, again, you may kind of view your ex as like, this is my happily ever after. This is, the person I want to spend the rest of my life with. And you're holding on to that desire here with the Four of Pentacles. This is holding on really tight. But because of the confirmation that I've pulled here, I feel like, those of you who really feel like this is a connection, this is where I belong with, there is a sense of deceit here. Let me get one more card. Because I do not like ending a reading with kind of a negative tone, but that is what I pulled. What other message is there for the sign of Leo about their ex? The Magician. So I'm pretty sure from the first spread that was the main energy. I'm pretty sure it was the Magician. So this is you manifesting. So some of you have a chance to manifest a new beginning with your ex, because I do see a lot of happiness on the other side of the spread. Again, especially for those of you where the ex is a fire sign or an air sign, you're being told here, take back your power as well. So for some of you, again, it's hard to say with a general reading, but some of you, you feel like this is the person you belong with. You don't want to make excuses, especially if this is an ex who broke your heart. You started with a card of abandonment. This card jumped for you. Here it is again. You can manifest a new beginning maybe with your ex. Maybe you need to be sure that this person is truly deserving of you. You do have the Six of Pentacles here. This is getting exactly, what you deserve from a relationship. So I also feel like for some of you, the Hierophant could have come up twice because you're being guided to the right person, whether that is your ex or somebody else. You did have new beginnings in the first spread that I did for you. So there could be a new relationship for those of you where maybe you don't know that you want an ex back. But I do feel like it's time for you to kind of get out of this sad energy from the Five of Pentacles. Okay, Leo, this has been your love reading for December 2019. Hope you enjoyed it, and I'll speak to you again next month.